a little about your trip from Jamaica to Florida and now Dubai.
So I like to say I was made in Kingston, packaged in Miami, and exported to Dubai. So I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. I grew up there, with my siblings and my mom, my dad, and we migrated to the U.S. when I was around 11, going on 12 years old. And so I grew up in Miami. So I feel like my foundation, the core of everything started, my roots, Jamaican, which is, I think, one of the best ways to start life. Little Caribbean girl playing dandy shandy, out in the middle of the street, running around bare feet. Yeah, that was me. And moving to Miami, which is also a really vibrant, multicultural city, where I spent my whole teenage years and went to university there. And at 25, exported to Dubai.
And Dubai is truly a beautiful and very gentle city. And as an out expat living in Dubai, would you say you were welcomed as a Black woman?
Yeah, I think Dubai welcomes everyone. As long as you're there to make a difference, there to contribute to society, they welcome you with open arms. And my husband's been there now 16 years. When we met, he was there for about 6 years at the time. Yeah, so we've been together for 10 years. And when I moved to Dubai, it was a completely different city. Very welcoming to all expats. They've always been like that, but it was a lot more strict. Now they're becoming more liberal, more open, and it's such a safe, amazing place to live as an African American Caribbean woman. Yeah.
And I see that it's becoming so diverse. I think it's like over 200 nationalities there. Right?
Yeah, 80% of the population are expats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from all different parts of Dubai.
And would you say you have a Caribbean community in Dubai?
There is. Actually, when I moved there, my first business plan was to start a Jamaican restaurant. Oh, I was like, there's no way I'm going to survive without Caribbean food, right? And now we have 2 or 3 Jamaican restaurants. There's an online store they're based in Abu Dhabi, which is an hour outside of Dubai, that you can get all your seasoning and your spices and your Christmas rum cakes and everything. So I feel the Caribbean community is growing there. And the beautiful thing too, a lot of the Jamaican restaurants and stuff, they hire Jamaicans, they hire Trinidadians, they hire Bahamians. So they're opening up that space to hire and bring more Caribbean people to the Middle East.
And speaking about Jamaican food and culture, on the show we get to truly see your love of cooking.
Yes, I love my belly.
Yes. And what would you say is your favorite dish to cook for your family?
Well, my favorite dish is not necessarily their favorite dish. So my favorite dish, I love to cook a seed snapper with the okra and the crackers on top.
Yeah.
That's my vibe. But my kids complain about the bones, and my husband doesn't like working for his food, so if it's not filleted, they have an issue. But their favorite dish for me to cook is the curry chicken. They love Jamaican curry chicken. They love brown stew chicken too. And then, funnily, my husband's favorite is bully beef and rice, which is like Jamaican, like corned beef, right? But we make it with like onions and tomato and seasoning and peppers, and that's his favorite, surprisingly. But yeah, I just love to cook.
And moving on to a bit of your career in like fashion questions. I know you stated in previous interviews that I believe like your love for fashion and designing kind of started in pageantry.
Yes.
And now you have a very successful maternity line and now women's wear line.
Yeah.
And so what inspired you to start your company?
So when I was the reigning Miss Jamaica International, we didn't really have a budget for wardrobe. And so a lot of the designers, they were designing for the other queens, like the Miss Jamaica World and Miss Jamaica Universe.
Yeah.
And so I'm the kind of person, like, if I don't have it, I'm going to make it, And I didn't know that this was going to really spark my career in fashion. But I ended up winning so many awards for the designs that I put forward for my country. And then that kind of led to me designing pieces for a lot of Miami socialites. And then stumbled into not being able to find maternity wear and designing my own and turning it into a business. And I feel with MINA ROE, as I grow as a mom, as a wife, as a woman, the brand grows as well. So now I'm no longer having kids, but I know what it's like firsthand to not snap back. And like all the moms on Instagram. And so I created another range of clothes, which is close pregnancy wear, but it's really just ready to wear clothes for women, regardless if you've had a baby or not. You just want something that's flattering, that looks amazing and feels good and good quality. And so we've been able to design that.
I love that. Thank you. Would you say that your passion for fashion started when you were like a child, or was it really when you were like a young woman?
I think as a young woman, when I was a little girl, I was running naked in my underwear. I was a tomboy as well. I played a lot of sports. So it was, fashion wasn't really, my mom dressed me. I think she had a passion for fashion. But from my love for fashion, I think grew as I grew. You know, and I studied journalism in school and I minored in fashion, and I think it just evolved from there.
And what advice would you give to your younger self?
Don't worry about it. Just go for it. I feel like so many times we're in our heads worrying about what's next instead of living in the moment. I feel like I've missed out. I lost my brother, and time is the most valuable gift you can share with someone. So I'm really, really cautious and very intentional with my time. You know, I don't waste time on things that are not gonna help me, you know, to progress as a person, as a woman, or help others, you know. So I'm really, my younger self, I would tell her to just not worry about it. Just live in the moment and not necessarily live for tomorrow, which I think a lot of people tend to do, myself included.
Definitely, I think like social media and everything.
Yeah, you're just worried about what's coming next, what's next, rather than just really just stopping and smelling the flowers, enjoying what's today, you know, enjoying the people that you have around you today, because
And what advice do you have for young Caribbean Americans that maybe want to live abroad and start a new life?
do it. Take the risk, because you know what? I'm such a different person today because I took that leap. Right? I always had family around. I grew up with a very big family, you know, mothers, aunties, grandmothers, and always having that kind of cushion to lean on. I think when you step outside of your comfort zone, you end up growing and evolving in such an amazing way that you possibly couldn't have if you had that support system. You know, as an expat living in Dubai, I don't have my mother to rely on, you know, to watch my kids, you know, and that kind of forced me to be a super hands-on mom, you know, with my children, and I have no regrets with that. You know, I'm so much more independent because I live abroad. You know, I've learned to actually find my true self because I live abroad. So my advice would be just do it. Even if it's just for 1 year, that year alone will change your life, and you will be a completely